Brian, we want to talk about the first, before we get to your exclusive video, the sentencing of George Papadopoulos, expected to be sentenced today. Tell us what to expect.
Well, he was convicted or pleaded guilty of lying to the FBI agents about his contacts with supposed Russian agents during the Trump campaign. He initially told the FBI that happened well before the campaign. That was a lie. Then he was...
And he says he was caught off guard, right? He says that they asked him and he wasn't ready for the question, etc., right?
Right, but they asked him twice. They asked him once when they may have caught him off guard. They brought him back a second time with his lawyers and reminded him, lying to an FBI agent is a federal crime. We're going to ask you these questions again. And he lied again about that. So he was caught off guard. They then began a long, intensive surveillance of him, looking into all his background, followed him to Greece, looked into all of his contacts, and then brought a charge against him as he flew into the U.S. From Greece, arresting him at Dulles Airport. He had a secret plea agreement, and then recently, in the last month, the government said he did not cooperate fully as he had pledged to. So they have now recommended a sentence of incarceration between 0 and 6 months. They could have recommended probation. They did not.
And he could have faced a whole host of other charges, right?
Exactly.
And we always talk about this lying as if that was the extent of what he was facing.
Right. There was a lot more going on, and the deal was, we'll just charge you with this one count, which he agreed to do, and he agreed to cooperate. But they say then he was very hesitant. He continued to mislead them and was slow to reveal things that hurt the investigation. So they're looking for some kind of time behind bars for him.
And, you know, typically when you don't cooperate fully, you can lose your cooperation agreement entirely, right?
It hasn't gone that far, but he was sort of nudging, and he was, you know, his lawyers, their counter to all this was, this guy is way over his head. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He's 31 years old now. He was really a nobody when he was picked out of the Hudson Institute to work on Trump's foreign policy board. The regulars in the Republican Party didn't want anything to do with Donald Trump. So he picked a bunch of people who no one had ever heard of, including George Papadopoulos, as well as Carter Page and some others. And then Papadopoulos set off on his own. He tried to set up meetings between Trump and Putin, a whole range of things. But his lawyers say he really just way over his head. He didn't know what he was doing.
And do we have any sense of where in that range? Is there any indication at this point as to anywhere between this 0 to 6? We don't know, right?
There's been one other case like this brought by the special counsel's office, and I think that person got a 2 or 3 month sentence. So that's what I think we should expect, but it could be greater if they really go after him seriously before the judge and say he did not cooperate. He deserved to be punished.
So if he serves time, that would be a surprise to him and his family. You've gotten to know George Papadopoulos and his wife, and in that context, you actually were at his wedding and,
right.
and have video of it.
That's right. George and Simona Papadopoulos, producer Rhonda Schwartz, who's also just joined here at the Law&Crime Network, and I went out to see him, and at dinner they said, by the way, we're getting married tomorrow. Would you like to come? Sure, why not? Trying to build up a source relationship, and no one from his family, just Rhonda and me, in the basement of the Cook County Courthouse in Chicago before a trial judge who got the afternoon off to handle a slew of weddings. It was you know, they're just running through like on an assembly line. And we were there, and we took pictures of the wedding, and it's quite a thing.
So you were the two witnesses?
We didn't really sign anything. We were just there. Yeah, they didn't sign anything. I wouldn't call myself the best man. So Rhonda wasn't the maid of honor. But at the time, they told us that this was an opportunity for them. Now they thought they were going to get he thought he would get a probation sentence, that he would be free now to go off on his honeymoon and to make fame and fortune out of his infamy.
And the pictures we're looking at there?
Those are pictures we took. That's outside the ornate lobby of the Cook County Courthouse shortly after they were married.
And do we have video of that as well?
We do have a video as well, which shows the judge reading the oath and the groom kissing the bride.
So let's go to that.
At that.
So it is with that honor, having shown your willingness to become husband and wife by the power vested in you by the Constitution, the statutes of the state of Illinois, I now pronounce you husband and wife. May your lives together be long and happy. With all best wishes, I congratulate you. I wish you good luck and all the blessings your hearts may hold. Sir, you may kiss your bride.
Thank you so much. Beautiful.
So there it is, the happy couple.
The happy couple. She is an Italian, trained as a lawyer, who used to work at the European Parliament at one point. And then what they say is a coincidence, she also worked for this mystery professor, Joseph Mifsud, who plays a central role in the case brought against Papadopoulos. The FBI originally thought she must be a Russian agent. She's extremely good looking. In fact, she has a job now playing apparently Bridget Bardot for some movie. She's going to go off to Hollywood and do that. But they were convinced that she was a Russian agent. She has a kind of Italian accent. I can't really tell the accent.
But they investigated.
They investigated that, and they asked her if she speaks Russian, and they knocked it down. She says when the Democrats on the Hill questioned her, they continued to say they thought she was a Russian agent, which she finds to be hilarious. So now they're trying to figure out what are they going to do. This is supposed to be their honeymoon time. Instead, he may face the prospect of going off to prison.
And you've got an article on lawandcrime.com which is going to be talking about exactly what she's doing next.
Exactly. How they're going to turn his infamy into fame and fortune. They claim they have a book deal. And George has given his first big interview to CNN. It will air tonight. Anchor Cenk Tapper did the interview. They say it was part of a private arrangement. CNN says we don't pay for interviews. The only arrangement as to when the interview would be broadcast.
But also she's going to pursue her acting career.
She's going to pursue her acting career, and she's been very outspoken, saying that President Trump, if he's not completely incoherent, should in fact give her husband a pardon.
What better way to launch your career than your husband being indicted by the special counsel?
Exactly. Wow, what a begin. Talk about romance in the era of Trump.
Exactly, exactly. Brian Ross, great to have you here.
Thanks, Dan.
Thrilled you joined Law&Crime.
More to come.
Thanks. We'll be back after this break.